I'm Arthur Moats, and I'm here to tell you about my new book, The Moats Theory of Life. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, I strongly encourage you to. This book not only is a fun read, but it's a guide to helping you become a person of impact and inspiration. If you are ready to take the next step to improving not only your life, but those around you as well, go get a copy of The Moats Theory of Life, and it's available at moatstheory.com. What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, man?
My brother. What's up, baby? I see you got that defense on today.
Lambert.
Yes, sir. Love it. Love to see that.
Just threw it on. I'm starting to get a little bit of a belly here with football season. So
No, I thought you was fit, Deke. It was fit sex symbol Deke, right?
Well, I was for a little bit, then I just started drinking again. So
Okay.
I have been drinking, but now I'm drinking more consistently with the football. And I'm
You
golfing.
enjoying life, though?
Golfing again. Our band's starting to play. It's a bad mix right now. It's a bad mix. So I needed something a little more loose here.
Okay, all right. I like it. It looks good. I'll say that, man.
Yeah, I figured we're on a roll. We're 2-0. Let's give a salute to one of the Steeler legends here.
No question, man.
I think I've won this a couple of times, so whatever.
But I'm going to shout it out like I ain't never seen it every single time. You know how we do.
Sure.
And speaking of legends, man, we lost a legend in the game today, man. Gale Sayers, Hall of Fame running back, man, Chicago Bears, passed away at 77 years old, man. Dude, when you think about him, though, man, amazing career. Played 7 years. Obviously dealt with some injuries at the end of the day, man, from a health standpoint. But youngest guy ever inducted into the Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. You think about everything he was able to accomplish, man. Dude, just unreal, man. When you really check out his story, had the movie after him. Was it Brian's Song as well? You know, it's always sad when you see one of the legends pass away, man. But always got to make sure we appreciate them, man, while they're here and when they're gone, man, because without them, there is no us. There is no this show, man. They paved the way for us, man. So just wanted to, definitely pay respects to him, man, in that regard, man.
Good to bring up. Definitely
Absolutely,
worth a shout
man.
out for sure, man.
Absolutely. We give him a moment of silence,
one of the
too,
legends.
man.
Yep.
Give him a moment of silence. I like it, man. Legend, dude. Legend. But yeah, man, we got big time week 3 action this time, baby. Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans. I love it. Did you know this? That they're going to be 3 brothers playing in the game this week?
No,
did you know that?
I had no clue.
Oh, because if you didn't know, I just want to let you know that this is the second time this happened in 90 years. The first time was last year, when the Steelers played the Buffalo Bills.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that either. I didn't.
So this
clueless.
This is the second time.
No one let me know last year.
This is the second time.
And I'm glad you're telling me this year because I had no clue. No one told me.
Well, make sure you don't miss out. You know what I'm saying? The 3 brothers, J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt, and Derek Watt, just in case you didn't, and that's not in the order. I know. I'm just throwing them out there. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of the history that's taking place for the second year in a row at Heinz Field, man.
Cool, man. I hope it helps us once we got 2 of the brothers. How about that? It didn't last year.
Just in case you didn't know, though.
Thanks.
Just wanted to make sure you knew there's gonna be it's gonna be 3 brothers playing in the game all together. All right.
That's good for the family, 3 professional athletes, 3 dudes in the NFL. They're making bank.
We're gonna see a ton of Subway commercials too. I can feel it, bro.
Those are good.
I like them. You like them?
How many have I seen?
I've seen 2. I've seen the one in the house where they're going through the different sandwiches and like, this is TJ, that's JJ. Oh, this is Derek. Well, that's why I named him Derek. You know what I mean? I saw that one, and then they had another one.
They used to have one in a car, right? I don't think I see. I
didn't see the car one. I saw it was another one. I just recently
this is the one I really like. Is whenever they have the shed converted into the Subway.
Yeah.
And I think it's TJ or one of the two is like, hey, what do you have there? And then the one behind him's like all pissed off. He said, dude, we come out here every day to get. So it's pretty good. I'm not doing it justice trying to explain it, but I actually chuckled, seeing it multiple times. I've chuckled. I'm like, you know what? That one's pretty clever.
I like it, man. I like it. But yeah, man, that's the first storyline that everybody's been talking about. Obviously, you have the quarterback matchups, man. You got Big Ben, Deshaun Watson, man. I'm just excited, man. I think that this is it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be a good game. I know a lot of people, when you just look at it on paper, people assume that this should be a game that still blow them out.
Yeah.
But the more I look into it, man, I do think it's going to be a little bit closer than people think, though, man. just starting out with the Texans when they're on offense, they're definitely missing DeAndre Hopkins, man. You can just see with some of the routes that they're running and some of the passing concepts they're using. Brandon Cooks has done a good job, I thought, over these first 2 games, but you could just see they don't have the same. That receiving core is drastically different when you don't have a DeAndre Hopkins. When your best guy is Cooks and then you have Fuller and Kenny Stills, it's not as scary as if it was DeAndre Hopkins, Fuller and Kenny Stills, man.
No, 100%. And I did say that last podcast, knee jerk. I don't know why I felt the need just to throw it out there. We're going to blow out the Texans this week.
You do that a lot, though.
I felt the need to, and I still feel that way, but it's toned down a tad, just a tad, because I did go back and watch the whole Ravens-Texans game, and I watched a little bit again of the Texans-Chiefs, even though there's no point in watching that. I really think they played awful for the most part outside of that first drive that they scored and then all the garbage time that they were putting up at the end. But no, against the Ravens, and no, in terms of the receivers, Cooks did good last game. There was nothing really like wrong with them.
Yeah.
Their offense, it just seems lackluster.
Yes.
There's nothing you could put your finger to. It's just like, I'm not worried. I'm really not worried.
You know, when I was watching them, you said lackluster. To me, I said they're like bland chicken. It's like chicken that hasn't been seasoned. Like you eating, it's like, I mean, it's healthy, it's cool, but I need some seasoning on it. It's not good.
I talked about this after week 1. Their receiving core actually isn't bad. Brandon Cooks has had how many 1,000-yard
with
seasons?
Multiple quarterbacks too, man.
Randall Cobb's a good receiver. You talk about Kenny Stills. Will Fuller's a really good receiver. He can't stay healthy though. Like they have a decent, I guess, personnel base for that offense. Receivers, and then their tight ends aren't bad. David Johnson's not that bad either. Sean Watson's not bad. Like he's pretty good. It's just doesn't really look good.
When I look at them, outside of Deshaun Watson, I see a bunch of Robins, a bunch of Bs, not the alphas. You know what I mean? When you think of David Johnson, he doesn't make you think like, oh man, this is a premier back. Like we're scared of him. When you look at Brandon Cooks, he's a good receiver. David Johnson's a good running back, but they don't scare you where you're like, oh, we have to change what we're doing, or we have to pay special attention to those guys. I think that's why their offense looks like how it does. I mean, Deshaun creates a ton, man, what he's able to do, because outside of Laramie Tunsil, they have struggled up front, man, both in the running and the pass game. They get zero movement on running plays, and in the pass, outside of Laramie Tunsil, they're not communicating well, man. And that last game against Baltimore, Deshaun Watson was running a ton, man, just having to escape. Some of his best plays were him just escaping and getting rid of the ball.
Yep.
Like that's the type of scenario right now that they have. But they do scheme up some things, man. Brandon Cooks in particular, man, they like to have him run these like deep over routes. And they actually hit 2 of them. And I think they missed on 2 of them as well. That does present some issues just from a communication standpoint, man. We talked about earlier in the season with the Steelers DBs, how on some of the plays they've given up, it's not personnel based. It's been solely communication based. When with the concept they're using with Brandon Cooks in terms of this deep over route, it requires a lot of communication from the corner, from the safety on the front side, safety on the back side. If this receiver, if he's going behind the running backs or in front of if he's going behind the linebackers or in front of the linebackers, all of that dictates, who's going to pick them up, how are we going to play this, and what coverage are we going to use, if it's 3, if it's 4, if it's 1. That makes me a little concerned just because they've been struggling with their communication. It hasn't been as clean these first 2 games. If they were communicating like week 10 or 11, it's a totally different conversation. I'm not even worried about it, but that does give me a little bit of pause, or a little bit of concern. And then just the thought of Deshaun Watson. We know what he can do in terms of how he's able to create. He makes people miss. It's not like you're not going to get opportunities to sack him. You're going to get numerous opportunities. The problem is getting them down. You know what I mean? He's just very elusive, very athletic. And I think that's some of the challenges. I mean, he presented that to the Ravens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He definitely met a lot of plays. And that could be frustrating on defense. Lamar was presenting that problem to the Texans.
Absolutely. Defense. You watch it, it was like just mirrors right there, man.
Yeah. So I'm definitely with you. And I agree with everything you're saying in terms of their offense versus our defense. That could be the only concern. It's just we've had some of those communication issues that you brought up in the last podcast in the secondary. Outside of that, dude, I'm really not too concerned.
I agree.
I'm just not. Unless because I was going to ask you this. Is there a matchup that concerns you? I know we talked about Fant versus Bush last week. Right. Even like Ingram versus Bush, Barkley versus Bush. Is there something here? I don't know because their tight ends are good. Like Fells is good, but he's not fan.
Well, no, this is how they do it, man. So when it was Denver, and like I said, the Denver thought process from an offensive standpoint got changed up once Drew Lock got hurt. Otherwise, they would have featured Fant all over the field, not just in the red zone. Driscoll only used him in the red zone. With Deshaun, his two tight ends, Atkins and Fell, he only uses them. They become the primary receivers once he gets into the red zone. Those are the guys that take over because obviously there's no DeAndre Hopkins, so that's what they're doing. In Baltimore, I thought did a good job of combating that. You will see Marlon Humphrey is outside on receivers when they're, anywhere from the 20-yard line and out. He's on the whether it's Kenny Stills, whether it's Brandon Cooks, like they're doing that. As soon as it gets into the red zone, 20, 25-yard line going in, Marlon Humphrey was lining up on the tight ends because he knew that's where they were going the ball. And he had a couple of big time plays. The thing with the Texans is this though. They moved the ball on the Ravens. They were in the red zone. They just couldn't score.
I got a few things to say about that game. Yeah. At some point, we don't have to talk about it now, but like, dude, no, they did. They
just couldn't score. They were getting the red zone, have to kick field goals.
I guess I might as well say it now. What?
Go ahead, man. I know you want to.
I already said it.
Yeah.
But like, dude, the Texans actually kind of outplayed them in the first half.
They absolutely did.
It was the dumb fourth down call on their own 30 that they missed where it gave the Ravens an easy touchdown.
Absolutely.
And then the fumble that they returned to the house.
LJ
I think it was 20-7 at half.
Uh-huh.
It should have really been 10-7 or maybe even Texans up 7-6.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. I didn't think the Ravens, they played good. They played solid, no turnovers. They controlled the clock and all that type of stuff. But there was nothing about that game that I felt, whoa, the Ravens are this God team, God's gift to the earth. Though,
but this is why I'm glad that, and we have these conversations now in terms of we're always talking about watch it again, watch the tape on it. Because remember, we said initially, if you just looked at the scoreboard,
because it was just red zone.
Yeah.
The highlights were popping up. I'm like, Ravens are killing these guys.
Yeah, and maybe when we came in and talked, we were like, nah, man, they're going to kill them. I'm like, bro, hold on, man. I watched this team, man. They don't have the personnel right now. But we talked about what makes you concerned, right? When we're talking about Steelers right now, it's more so communication, not personnel. The Texans, it's the opposite. They communicate well. That's why they're able to at least stick around in some of these games. They just don't have the personnel right now, though, man, as a whole, offense and defense. And that's where it really showed in those first two games. But you got to think, too, man. Chiefs week 1, Ravens week 2, Steelers week 3. You got the gauntlet right now, man. It is what it is. You got to hope for the best, but you know what it's going to be right now, man.
I really think they played bad in that Chiefs game, though.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that, but I said, man, first game of the year, you don't know what to expect, especially after the offseason that had happened this year. So I didn't even want to hold that all. I thought they were going to lose anyways, but I'm not necessarily holding that against them. I thought week 2 would be a better barometer because now you have at least one game experience. You've been in the stadium before. You know how this guy's going to react, and now you can kind of build on that. But I thought that was the biggest thing, man. They just couldn't score in the red zone. They were settling for field goals, the super dumb 4th and 1 on your own 25, 30-yard line going for it, and then the fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Deshaun missed the throw to David Johnson that swing. That could have been a touchdown. It was just you talk about the details and stuff. It was 21 points legit that they should have had. Yeah.
It's a different ballgame if they do.
Yeah, I think if anything, my main takeaway from watching this was Ravens maybe aren't as hyped as whatever, or they're not as good as everyone's hyping them to be. They're one of the top 3 teams, but in terms of these guys are unbeatable, dude, 240 of those rushing yards. Oh yeah,
on the last two between Ingram's 30-yarder at the end of the score
on the fourth down,
and then J.K. Dobbins 44. But bro, when we get to their defense, we might as well just go. Their defense, they don't do a good job of setting the edge. They have zero edge of their defense, bro. And we're talking about outside linebackers, the guys who have to force the ball back to everyone else. On the J.K. Dobbins run, I don't know what the guy's looking at. He literally, the guys, the tight end's right in front of him. He's looking somewhere, and he lets the tight end just hook him. And from there, J.K. is able to burst off a 40-something yard run. You see that time and time again with them. They don't have really good edges to their defense, which is dangerous. If you don't have edge to your defense, it can get really bad, as they saw. But when we're looking at the Texans defense in particular, I think their secondary is good. I think they have players back there. It's not great, but it's good. Obviously, the person that makes their defense a lot better is J.J. Watt.
Yeah, you saw him jump off the screen. Man.
Yeah, when he's playing well, and trust me, they do a good job of highlighting his matchup, make sure he's going to get the favorable matchup for him. This past game, it was at left DN. Sometimes he lines up at the right tackle spot. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends wherever he thinks is the best situation for him. But when he gets going, man, that was kind of the game changer for them. But they couldn't account for Lamar Jackson.
They kinda.
This is the thing. When they were staying in their zone concepts, they could account for him because they had eyes on him. It would make him have to stay in the box. They would have multiple people being able to get back there. Anytime they went split safety or man coverage, and when I say split, I'm talking about like your 2-man concept, right? Where you're not having somebody or you're not having multiple defenders with their eyes on the quarterback. That's when I saw him really start to like put a strain on that defense from the Texans, and they really couldn't account for that.
Yeah, I thought it was weird because I thought definitely Lamar like had his number on the Texans, but at the same time, you saw points where he was running around, and you're like, "Damn, Lamar's got to be like so tired."
Absolutely,
because the defense was playing him pretty well. But that's the thing about that offense. Like even Lamar, I guess you could say to some degree with Deshaun Jackson versus our defense, like facing a dude that could scramble around like that. I feel like that could get so exhausting, especially if it's on like first or second down, and then you got to play another down, and it's just like, oh man, we did everything we could, and they just threw it away. We did everything we could, and they still got a yard or got back to the line of scrimmage.
And I was gonna say it's funny too, because as an edge rusher, these type of games you love and hate. You love it because you know I'm going to get ample opportunities. Deshaun isn't throwing it away right away. He's trying to extend plays. He's dancing around making guys miss. You love that element because you know as a rusher, I got extra time now, right? So even if my initial move doesn't work, I know he's going to be scrambling around. I got time to get back in this rush and make a play. That's the good side of it. The bad side is I got to try to catch this dude, man, because he's all over the place. It's kind of like chasing after chickens, man. You're over here like, dude, I know it's 3 of us over here. I know it's only one of you, but yeah, this is hard, man. This is difficult to get you down and to do it consistently for 4 quarters. That's definitely a daunting task. But when you have the type of guys that the Steelers have in terms of your outside and inside rushers being who they are, that does give you a little bit more ease because you know, okay, it's not just going to be one guy being back there only chasing after. You're going to have multiple guys back there getting after him. So I do find a lot more ease in that.
Yeah, and you know what? So I was thinking with the Chiefs and the Ravens game versus the Texans. I think the big difference is Lamar is a little bit more like Deshaun Watson, where he's not going to be dropping back, getting the ball out quick. He's going back there and he's going to try to make a play somehow. Yeah. And he was doing that versus the Texans. But you could see the Texans were able to get pressure on Lamar and contain him a little bit here and there. But Lamar, like I said, Lamar definitely did have his number and definitely had his impact on the Texans. I could see us doing a little bit of what the Chiefs were doing. And what were we talking about whenever the Chiefs and Texans had that opener? We did the recap. It seemed seamless for Mahomes. He was just getting the ball out quick, dinking and dunking. And that's what we're seeing with Ben these first 2 games. Some of these quick passes. It was successful last week. And I think that's their strength. You talk about TJ Watt and their pass rush. Yeah. Our line, you know, it's been up and down a little bit. Definitely made big improvements last week.
And could potentially get DeCastro back. We'll find that out hopefully within the next couple of days. He was supposed to practice yesterday. Or excuse me, he was supposed to practice today, which is Wednesday. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But that's something to keep an eye on because him coming back will be a huge boost in terms of showing up that offensive line as well.
Absolutely, man. So I just think that could be the money for us right there. Is kind of replicating what Chiefs were doing with Mahomes in that offense and having Ben get the ball out quick. The difference is, though, the X factor, what the Chiefs had that do we have? Nah, probably not, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire because he was a big part of that seamless offense going down the field. Yeah. And you could run on the Texans defense. Like I said, I don't think the Ravens rushing attack were as gaudy as the numbers show last year, but they definitely were able to consistently run on them, and so did the Chiefs with Edwards-Helaire.
And I will say this too, in both situations, the Chiefs obviously because of the threat of Mahomes airing it out, that created very favorable box counts in terms of how many D linemen and linebacker are in the box. It was very favorable for the Chiefs to run or even do some of those quicker passes to Clyde and watch him go to work. With the Ravens, it worked because of their scheme in terms of you just don't know who's getting the ball. I mean, it was 3 or 4 times you see J.J. Watt tackling, it got to the ground, and you're like, oh, does he have the ball? Oh, no, this guy's still running over here. So that kind of helped, you know, the Ravens offense. But the thing that I'm concerned about in terms of the Steelers and how they want to attack them running the ball, if they try to line up with a 2 tight end set or even bringing a fullback, because I know people were talking about Derek Watt potentially playing more, I don't think
just for this matchup,
right? But I don't. The reason I don't think it's good is this, man. McKinney and Cunningham, the two inside linebackers. Cunningham is definitely more of your speed coverage guy, but McKinney, man, he got paid a big deal. I think it was a year ago, but he excels in terms of just the downhill thumping. Think Vince Williams, but he's a bigger version of that, right? I don't want to just line our offense up and just try to run at that back to back to back. I don't think it's going to go well. I do want to see us spread them out though, and then potentially run like that, because I think we have the weapons here that they would have to play us similar to the Chiefs in terms of not being able to stack the box, having to keep a safety over top because of what Claypool's been able to do these first couple of games. Obviously, James Washington and Deontay, you've seen them from a deep threat standpoint. So I don't think that you can necessarily play with that extra defender in the box. If you bring in an extra tight end though, now they don't have to account for that because they're not having to worry about necessarily both sides having the vertical threat. When you got these two tight ends, man, it slows you down a little bit. Or even if you bring in a fullback and going 21 personnel, meaning you got James Conner or whoever running back.
Who's talking about this?
A lot of people.
No, come on. Are you? It doesn't even make sense.
Bro, I do a Steelers radio show. What you mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what?
I understand. I get what you're saying.
Every time, yeah. Bro, you know,
this doesn't make sense to me.
Bro, people have been calling for 2 back sets.
No.
I swear. 2 back sets. And what we say to them is this. So if you're bringing in Derek, who do you take off the field? Are you taking off James Washington? Are you taking off Claypool? Who are you taking off?
That's our strength.
If you run 2 tight ends, which receiver are you taking off? But this will be here because they're trying to figure out how to improve the running game. It is what it is right now, man.
Wait, why? I mean...
Why? You've seen the running game. Is it consistent now? Yes or no?
No. I think the running game comes if we're using those weapons and spreading it out. That's what I'm thinking.
It's different philosophy.
I just think that's our strength right now.
I agree with you, but the difference philosophy is this. Some people feel like you can open up the run by passing. Some people look at it like, man, let's open up the passing by running more. Making sure, okay, if you're hitting it, getting good runs, they're going to have to start creeping up, playing in the box. And now from there, you're able to spread them out, take shots, or play action. It's a different philosophy, man.
I get it. I'm just not buying it with this team that we got. We got a Hall of Fame quarterback. We have question marks at running back. I don't think there's any question marks with our 4 receivers.
I'm with you, man. I'm just letting you know trust me. I'm not coming up here saying something that I heard from one person.
Okay.
For me to talk about this, especially on the podcast, like I said, on the radio, it's different because you got people calling and you got people tweeting about it. That's one thing. I'm not coming up here to talk about that if I don't feel it's a strong consensus that feel that way. And it is.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Right. You're just giving, I guess both of us agree with this, our take, the counter to that at least.
Yeah, so that's my only thing, man. And just hearing you talk about like running the ball, it reminded me, I'm like, bro, that's what they want. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. First of all, I'm not a fan of using fullbacks in right now, just because we talked about this, man. When fullbacks are on the field, a lot of attention is drawn to them, man. Whether you're blitzing it, whether you're bringing some type of, you slant your formations to that, man, because you're not bringing the fullback in to run a route. You're bringing that fullback in to either block from a pass standpoint or it's a run. So either way, he's in the action directly involved. So that's why you typically blitz him. Similar with extra linemen. When you bring in, like last year, when they talked about bringing in Zach Banner, the reason they kept bringing Zach Banner in was because when they ran or they used him, he was winning consistently. It was no debate and it wasn't close. If it's close or it's a debate, it's not worth it. And for me right now, I just don't see the value in using Derek Watt in that regard. When you have these thoroughbreds outside, they can take the top off of defense, man. For me, I would much rather pass that ball, man, as much as you need to, move the ball like you want to, and go from there. Use the run as the complement to the pass, where compared to using the pass as a complement to the run. Difference in philosophies. Everybody has, their opinions. It's kind of, is the glass half full, is the glass half empty? But I just think, man, with the way this offense is set up, you don't want to slow them down or take one of those receivers off the field by trying to bring in an extra guy to run the ball, man.
No way, dude. And that's what I mean. The X factor with the Chiefs at that running back, that complimentary piece, is Edwards-Helaire, where, dude, he just dropped 100 yards out of nowhere that first game. For us, whereas, are we really confident or know that Connor or Snell's going to have that type of game if we need them to be complimenting like that?
And I was going to say, I feel like from a Stills personnel standpoint, McFarland's probably the closest being to Clyde, bro. Let's be real about that, man.
Is it time? You see people clamoring for him?
Well, yeah, man, and that's because of the two starter 1 and starter 1B, or however you want to pull it, man. With James Conner obviously dealing with the injury in week 1, and then still not looking explosive or looking as confident or having that very, I guess, aggressive demeanor when he's running. He didn't show that in week 2, even though he had over 100 yards. He just didn't show that. And then obviously with Benny Snell,
it's just fumbles.
Ball security. He looks good. When he has the ball, he looks good. But the ball security, you can't keep putting the ball on the ground, and it's not just these 2 games. It dates back to last year. So that's why we're in this.
Who would you say is the better pass blocker right now?
The better pass blocker is James Conner, just because he has more experience doing it, man. Benny has improved, but it takes running backs a lot longer to start getting better at. I mean, you can go around the league and look at the top backs. We talked about Saquon Barkley, man. He's terrible in pass protection. Derrick Henry, it doesn't matter if you're big or small. It's more so the desire. It's more so the want to, and it's more so it starts with the coaching staff too. In Pittsburgh, man, they put an emphasis on their running backs blocking. It's drill setup. Everybody heard about backs on backers. We love it as the backs. I mean, as the backers, we love it. The running backs hate it because we trying to break their face masks. We trying to shake them, man. We have every resource available to us to win these drills, and it puts them in very, very disadvantaged situations. But what it does, it number one builds a mentality that regardless of what's going on, I'm going to block you. It also builds a toughness element of it. I know you done beat me up 3 times in a row. You done shook me out my shoes, then took me to the water cooler, got my mama looking over here crying, asking me, you know what I'm saying, like, get off my baby. Yeah, I done been through all that. So I know come game time, it's not going to be that tough. I got other keys around me. I got other things that's going to isolate you to make you have to do certain things. I know how to handle that. I'm equipped for that. They do that here in Pittsburgh. Other places, they don't put the emphasis on it. And you see that when you get guys like Vince Williams who consistently dominates running backs when it's time to blitz. Because we work on it here in Pittsburgh, man, on both sides. Whereas the other places, they don't, man. And I think that's the biggest difference right now. But that's why James Conner is the better pass blocker between the two, because he's had multiple years of working at it. He's had multiple years of going through that fire, man. I remember when James first did that drill. James wasn't good at that drill. Hey, don't let Sunday fool you now. James, he struggled. Benny Snell, he struggled. We can keep going. Le'Veon Bell, he struggled. It took him a while to really start picking it up and getting better at it. But that's why you work on it. So that way, when it comes to game time, you see those guys stepping up and making big blocks and protecting Ben, ultimately what you want to do. So, yeah, that's the elongated version of it, but a little bit more detail just to let you know why it's here in Pittsburgh and why the guys are a lot better in terms of their blitz pickup with the running backs.
At least we would have those positives then if they do go the route that we're suggesting with the quick pass and stuff, having Connor out there, not because I don't know what McFarland's looking like in terms of pass blocking, but if we're talking that electricity,
but I wouldn't want to
bring and spreading it out and stuff.
For me, if I'm thinking of McFarland, I'm not even keeping him in to block on third down. I'm treating him like Kamara in New Orleans. On third down, he's fast releasing right now. So with the fast release, what it does, and we're talking about the fast release, back offset, right or left side of the quarterback in the shotgun. As soon as the ball snaps, he runs right now to the outside. What it does is this: if it's man coverage, it makes that linebacker, safety, whoever is on him, have to go out to go get him, right? Whereas if he stands back there and waits or stands back there and blocks, well, now in that safety or linebacker that has him in coverage, all they need to do now is just blitz him, like run directly at him, and now he can't get out. And if he can't protect well enough, now it's going to be another hit on Ben. So that's how I would probably use him if McFarland was going to be getting a little bit more of a look this opportunity. I thought he did dress, but he didn't play, though.
Okay, they didn't dress in the first game.
Correct. The first game he didn't dress. Second game he did dress, but didn't play.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be, we're going to find out. And the thing is this, too. I know week one, Coach Thomas said he was a little fuzzy on the rules in terms of with this year, you're able to dress more people on game day. I know he said that he was a little confused about those rules. So hopefully, now he has a better understanding of it, and we can start seeing McFarland be dressed for multiple games. But the thing that's keeping McFarland from getting a helmet,
I was going to ask you, like, what's going on? Like, why isn't he getting out there?
Well, because the thing is this, he was supposed to be the kick returner, right? But who's been doing well on kick return? He's been
balling, yeah.
Ray McLeod has looked awesome these first 2 games, man. Has created splash plays in the return game 2 weeks in a row. You're not taking the ball out of his hand on the kickoff return for Anthony McFarland. So then from there, you have to say, if you're not the returner, what else can you do? You know what I mean? In terms of where you want to use him at.
I think he's an upgrade from Samuels.
Upgrade from Samuels?
Yeah. I don't know how many snaps he's getting. Samuel's been out there maybe 10 snaps.
I see Samuel's more on special teams than I do in terms of like running back.
That's what's he been on the field for running, but maybe 5 to 10 snaps last week.
That's what I mean. Screen pass was thrown at him. Yeah.
If we just try that with McFarland, maybe a little screen pass there. Let's just see what he can do.
For me, I don't know if I talked to you about this, but I'm not a fan of trying stuff on the fly. Like if we're gonna try it, that's typically what preseason for, right? Because you get a chance to see, do you know the call? Do you know the call when you're tired? Do you know the call when it's a clutch moment? That's the first thing.
We should have the game at hand, I guess. Yeah.
But how do you get to that point, though?
We're ruling with Snow or Connor, I guess.
Right, because the first 2 games, those are 2 games that we all felt, hey, man, they should have had it in hand a lot earlier. Probably should have blew both of the teams out, but didn't for whatever reason it was. So I don't see that getting any easier. So for me, it's like, man, McFarland's going to have to really impress in practice. And then whenever he does get a small opportunity, he's going to have to really show what he can do because you didn't get that preseason. If I'm Ben, I don't want a rookie that hasn't been in any game situation protecting me.
You probably want the pass protection.
Absolutely.
First.
Yeah,
if we're doing the quick passing game, that's what you want.
I need somebody that's going to put their face in the fan. If not, I'm about to get hit. I don't want to get hit so you can just be on the field for the sake of being on the field. You can run whatever else you want. If I'm getting blasted and I don't get a chance to throw it to you, it doesn't matter. So that's the only reason why for me, I'm not a fan of just throwing McFarland out there for the sake of it and saying, well, hey, give him a couple plays. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Because that's how you get your QB killed. And we already experienced that. We don't need that. I don't want that.
Hey man, you got me hyped up. So I had to throw it out there. A lot of people have been talking about it.
Absolutely. And I do think McFarland, when he does get his opportunities, he will produce and perform. But I think it's more so a trust issue similar to Chase Claypool. We haven't seen a ton of Chase. When he's been out there, he's made plays, but they're still leaning on the guys that they know in terms of James Washington, Juju, Deontay. They're going with those guys over Chase for right now. As Chase continues to make plays, though, he's going to continue to get more opportunities. But then from there, you always have the conversation of, well, who's coming off? Who's this? Who's that?
A great problem to have, though.
Oh, without a doubt.
Compared to last year.
Without a doubt.
This is unreal. This is unreal.
Last year, the cupboard was a little bit bare. This year, we got an abundance, man.
We're in heaven, man.
Yeah.
We're in heaven. We were in heaven, and then we thought, I don't know, we went to hell. We lost it all somehow, but we're back.
We've been cursed by the football gods.
And it's not like it took too long, so it feels great.
Absolutely, man. So I do think that whenever we do see McFarland, I do think he'll play well, but I just don't see it happening right now. And outside of like injuries, if James gets injured, that's one thing. Yeah. Or if James and Benny put the ball on the ground, that's another thing. But if everything is going well, I just don't see them saying, hey, let's not use Jalen Samuels for these 3 or 4 plays and let's give it to the rookie and see what he can do. I just don't see that right now, man, personally.
Okay.
Yeah. And especially when you look at the tape last week, man, they still were having some miscommunication, man, on some of their screenplays.
Yeah.
You got bad. The O-line going one way, the running back going the other way, and it wasn't just one back. It was multiple times it happened. That makes me uneasy. And that's with the guys that we know. I don't want to take that chance to play that game with the young guy, man. It's a coin flip right now. I don't need that in my life, man. That's too stressful for me.
Maybe just quick halfback toss.
If you think so, man. I'm under the belief that every play is significant, man. And I'm not in the business of just try it out. Let's see what happens. If you're up 2 scores, cool. But when have we really felt that we were in control of any, like we were winning in both of these games, right? But never did we feel that it was enough that we didn't have to worry about that team coming back. Both of those games
at the it was the 9-minute mark. We were up 12. That was the fumble.
Yeah,
like if we would have scored after that, it would have been
different,
fine.
Right? That's different. But we haven't in either one of these games had that moment where we're just we're coasting, man. Let's go and chill. Oh yeah, we not even worried about this. Like we haven't had that yet.
I'll be honest with you. I did start feeling that once we got the pick with Joe Hayden. I don't know if you saw that. I said game over after the pick on Twitter.
Listen, man, you say a lot of stuff, bro.
That's how I felt, man. I mean, come on. It was right before halftime. We got a pick. We should have scored a touchdown there. We still got the field goal. Felt good about our lead going into half. Felt good about how we were playing. A lot of people were saying, hey, you jinxed us. No, I'm just calling it how it is. Thought it was game over.
You almost jinxed us. Lord have mercy, you almost jinxed us. Don't do that no more, please.
I thought we had it in
hand. Nah, that's what you do, man. I like it.
I know. I feel like if I don't do it, maybe that's another reverse jinx there.
Yes, you full head of steam. You just got to roll with it now, bro.
I think I've been right on my NBA calls when I said that. It'd be like first quarter. You got to check my tweets. Just the tweets, not the stuff I say in like a nuanced way on a video or anything. Just tweets. Right. If I'm watching something, Bucks. Okay. I think, what did I say? Like game over, series over. I was right on that. This was the Magic one.
Okay.
I think I said that there might have been another game. I don't remember. There was 2 games, and then I was right on the Steelers one too. All right. So I'm 3 for 3 on my early game calls.
Just keep it going, man. Keep it consistent, bro. But yeah, man, I thought that, with this game right here, I do think it's, like I said, going to be a really good matchup. I do like the fact that it's at Heinz Field, man. Anytime you're able to get that extra day not having to travel, I think that's going to pay dividends, especially because of everything going on, man. You're not having the offseason that you needed, man. You trying to get any extra time you can get, any extra meetings you can get. So that is going to be a luxury for the team in that regard, man. But yeah,
any other matchup? I can't think of a certain matchup. The real thing I'm thinking about their defense is J.J. Watt.
It's absolutely
and just
J.J.
getting
Watt.
To the quarterback. But we already talked about like, yo, let's just get out the ball quick.
Absolutely, man. You got to find ways to minimize him. I think schematically, the pre-snap movements and motion that Canada has them doing.
I noticed that with the Chiefs, man. I'm learning a little bit because as I'm watching back on the Chiefs game, I'm seeing the Chiefs do a little bit of that.
A lot of pre-snap movement and motion, man.
I think we do that formula.
Yeah. And then also, I know this is a difference. Obviously, this is the Texans offense, but look at the Texans offense. Every play, I think it was probably 97% of their plays has some type of movement, pre-snap, shift, motion.
Who, the Texans?
The Texans do it as well, man, but they do it because obviously they don't have they need when your O-line doesn't have a favorable matchup where you have a guy on the other side. Obviously, the reason why the Texans were doing it because interior Calais Campbell, they couldn't block him. The whole time, Calais just dominated the interior, created a whole bunch of havoc for them, passing game and running game. But when you're moving around like that, we said, man, it creates a strain on the defense because now everybody has to talk. All right, it's closed left initially. All right, now once it's motion, all right, we're going to, spread the coverage. All right, so coverage was, to the left. Now we got to move the coverage to the right. Oh, okay, well, this guy steps off the ball, and now it's a shift. So now we got to scramble the whole thing, and now it closes to the right. Now that changes the coverage again. All of that happening just to run a simple dive. But you see how much we got to talk over here. If one person doesn't get the call, one person doesn't get the check, now we're out of position. Now the defense is set wrong. Now offense has the advantage. So with the pre-snap movements and motion, that's what it really does from a defensive standpoint. It puts a strain on you. You have to overemphasize the conversation. You have to overemphasize knowing your assignment. The benefit too is no crowd at Heinz Field. At least the D-line, if they'll be able to hear it. People can hear if you feel a little confused. Oh, he said white left. Okay, bet I'm over here now. Compared to when it's, traditional 70,000, you're not hearing me say white left. I've screamed the call before. We could be arms this is the way. You cannot hear it, which you'll see more hand signals then. But for this scenario, they don't have to worry about that. So I think that helps them out as well.
I got nothing else for this matchup, dude. I'm just excited, man. I feel good about it. I saw the spread is at 3.5.
What you got us, man? 40-10 Steelers?
Nah, well, here's the thing. I saw the spread at 3.5, which initially I was shocked with because I didn't go back and watch the Texans game or anything, and I already told you I think we're gonna blow them out and stuff. So I was like 3.5. We were, I think it was 6 or 6.5 against the Broncos.
It started out at 6, and then it bumped up. Yeah.
So I was like, man, I don't think the Texans are really any better than the Broncos right now. I know they're both 0-2, but I guess after looking through all this and now us talking, maybe makes a little bit more sense. But at the same time,
what you got us 50-3.
I'm just not worried. I don't think the Texans are maybe bad as I initially thought. There's nothing that worries me about this game outside of J.J. Watt. But like I said, we got these great weapons. We got a Hall of Fame quarterback. We'll figure that out. Do I say 27-13 again?
Nah, you want to give us a 30 burger. Have we hit 30 yet? We don't have a 30 point yet, do we? We had 27?
Yeah, we've been
first
close.
Game, and then 26 this past game?
Yeah, we've been close.
Say it.
Man,
give us the 30, man. Maybe that's why we haven't had 30 yet. Because you haven't said 30.
What if that throws it off? We're 2-0 with 27-13. We're 2-0 with 27-13. And I do think it's going to be double digits. So do I just keep rolling with that?
That's like your safe score right now, man. Every game, 27-13. I think it's going to be 13-27. Yeah, I can see this one being probably the 27-13. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's whatever, man. What you got for us,
26, 27 to 12 or 13, something like that.
We get a safety in here? We get a safety too?
I don't think. I feel pressure with this call right now.
Oh, man, it's no pressure. You do this.
Because I do think it's going to be double digits.
Okay.
I'm saying it again. I'm saying 27-13 again. I'm staking my claim on that score right now until we lose. I think that's what we're doing.
All right.
I got the beard going too. I've been low key about that ever since week 1. Haven't shaved the beard, so we're keeping that going too. Dude, if we win, if we go 6-0 here or something, man, the beard's gonna be crazy.
All right. It's
gonna be pretty crazy. So let's just keep rolling with that. I'm not superstitious though. I'm not.
You're not superstitious, But you just talking about your beard and you got to pick the right score and you can't change this up. Like, which one is it, man?
Because I'm playing to the listeners here. I think I'm playing to the fans.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do it, I don't want people to think, oh, you fucked it up, right?
Yeah, because they will say that. They definitely will.
Because if I go full arrogance of like, I'm shaving my beard this week,
we're winning 50-10.
I'm shaving the beard this week. We're winning 50-10, and then we lose. Yeah. I just don't want to hear it. That's all. So I want to go along with it, have fun with it. I don't really buy into it though.
Okay. So you got what? You said,
or do I?
So what's your final score? What you got?
27-13. I'm sticking with it, dude.
All right. I like it. 27-13. For me, I think it's a little bit closer. I have it 21-17. For me, I was kind of back and forth initially. When I watched it the first time, I was thinking, all right, 24-13. But I know things happen during the game, right? We've seen it week 1 with Darius Slayton coming up out the blue making plays. We saw it in week 2, Jeff Driscoll coming off the bench making plays. I feel that the Texans, even without DeAndre Hopkins, has a better offense than the Giants. I think they have a better offense than the Jeff Driscoll-led Denver Broncos. If it's Drew Lock at quarterback, all right, difference of conversation because you have the weapons. Obviously, we talked about the Broncos receivers being a little bit unproven and having some drops and stuff
Sutton
like that.
Hurt.
Yeah, Sutton did get hurt. Yeah, so when I think of that, I'm just like, I feel that the Texans with Deshaun Watson, kind of like how we talk about with Ben, right? If you got that quarterback, you've told me numerous times, it didn't matter who was at receiver or running back. If 7 was at quarterback, you think that you're in the game. You think you have a chance.
Always.
Deshaun Watson gives those same type of vibes. We've seen it numerous times with him, man, whether he's playing Seattle, whether he was playing the Patriots. Like, yeah, he's going to find a way to make plays. So that's why I think that they still are able to stick around. And then after seeing him do that against the Ravens defense, as well, the week prior to that, I'm just like, I can see them finding ways to make a couple plays here and there. I don't think that they'll ever, I don't think they'll ever have it where they're either in the lead or we ever feel that, man, the game isn't in control. But I just don't see us running away with it either, though. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah, that's good with me, dude. You don't see them. I just don't see them making a big play on offense or anything.
Bro, we said that about the Broncos, and Jeff Driscoll came in there and made numerous big plays and missed on some big plays. We saw in week 1 with Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton made big plays.
Well, that goes to what you're saying. We don't know what could happen. Something fluky like that could come up. But
you call it fluky. I don't think it's fluky. It's just the technique isn't where it needs to be right now. The communication is where it needs to be right now.
I guess even with the Broncos, you think Texans offense is better than the Broncos.
I do. Yeah.
I think I like the Broncos weapons a little better. Going into that game, maybe that's where my mind is.
And I said with Drew Lock, I did feel I liked their offense better because of the weapons with Drew. With Jeff Driscoll, I didn't like that offense at all, and they moved the ball with no issues, man, for a good amount of time, man. That made me nervous. We talked about Melvin Gordon. We said he's not the guy that's going to kill you, but he was moving the ball well as well.
And I guess in my mind, I'm just completely erasing any potential communication issues right now, because that's when whatever we were talking about when it was our defense versus their offense. I was like, if they just get rid of those, I'm not worried at all. Yeah. So,
but that doesn't just happen though. That's the thing, man.
I feel like we're hitting our stride.
I hope so. Hopefully it's not too early though, right?
I feel like
that's what you told me. You don't want to hit the stride too early. You text me all the time. Did they peak too soon?
When was this?
It was too early?
Was I talking about the Ravens last year?
You talk about that with everyone.
It was the Ravens and Bills last year.
I feel like between football and basketball, you always, hey, did he do it too soon? Was it too fast? Week 3, you're peaking. Week 3, we're hitting our stride.
Yeah, but we got no.
Are we distance runners? That's what we doing?
What?
Oh, we must be distance runners then, huh?
No, well, yeah, because we're thinking Super Bowl. Okay. So
I hope we ain't hitting our stride this early. Then can we wait a little bit? Can we be coming into it?
What teams did I even say last year? Was it Ravens and Bills?
The reason why I don't remember because you said a lot, bro. It all runs together.
We hit our stride.
It all runs together. You're like, we hit our stride. They hit their stride. I'm like, bro, what? And you're like, it's too early. You don't want to hit too early.
Well, we're well rested, so we can hit a stride early here.
Who was well rested?
The team. We didn't have the whole preseason stuff, so we're.
Are the Texans well rested or not?
The first 2 weeks, what? We're just a better team, though. Okay. We're a better team. We got Super Bowl aspirations here.
Okay.
They're lucky to make the playoffs. 8-8 if they're lucky here. 0-2. They're gonna be 0-3. It's gonna be a tough road for them.
Actually, it probably get easier for them.
No, I'm saying in terms of making the playoffs.
About the first 3 they playing against, man.
Making the playoffs, coming back from that, there's gonna be some pressure here.
Well, they got the additional playoff spot this year too, though, man. You can get in. You could have got away 8-8 the past 2 years,
There's
man.
some other teams that look good, though. Like Raiders are coming out of nowhere here.
Raiders are 2-0. Yeah.
I know, that's what I mean. Browns look pretty good on Thursday night. What other teams were in that mix? I mean, Patriots and Bills out of the AFC East. We got Steelers, Ravens. There's not a lot of spots here. Who's
your division favorite though? That's right, because you're not a Titans guy, so that's why I'm always like, who's the favorite in the AFC South then, man?
Oh, geez, I said the Colts were gonna win that.
Yeah,
jeez, that's.
And the year before that, you said the Jags.
I'm not feeling good about the Colts.
That division, man, it can happen. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Right, they could get 9-7 and make it in.
It could happen.
It could, but it's going to be a tough road for them after they go 0-3 here. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to be pretty flawless after this.
I'm
talking too much, dude. Talking too much.
It's all good. I like it though, man. So we got our final score predictions, man. I'm excited. Also, man, we got a treat for y'all today, man. We had Matt Feiler, starting left guard of the Pittsburgh Steelers, join us on the podcast, man. So that was a dope interview, man.
That was fun. Super
cool convo, man, leading up to this week 3 matchup, man. So definitely stay tuned so you can check that out. I think we covered everything else.
I got nothing around the league right now. I really don't. Do you?
I'm good, but I did want to shout out
what?
Josh Allen, man, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, man. Balling out, leading the league in passing yards right now. Over 700 passing yards, man, is lit it up. Coming off of a 400-yard passing performance, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. I mean, dude, clutch performance, come from behind. I thought it was good to see him get AFC Offensive Player of the Week. And it's his 3rd time getting that award. Short career, 3 times getting that award. And guess who he's played every time he's got that award?
What, the Dolphins?
Yes.
So...
But it's good though, man.
I don't know. That's something to consider. Yeah. But listen, I see it, man. I just don't need to hear it. That's all. I don't need to hear it. I see he's playing good. I don't need to hear it. Baby. They got 4 2-0 matchups here coming up.
I like
the Rams this week. We got to see more. Yeah. That's all. I'm not knocking him at all because what I'm seeing is really impressive right now.
It's looking good, man.
Let's wait and see here. Let's wait and see.
All right, it's all good. Hey, I ain't tripping, baby. I'm not tripping. It's all good.
I'm not either, dude.
You know how we do, man. We talk Bills when we're recapping games, right? Not previewing, so we ain't even gotta have that conversation right now. All right, and then we good.
Oh, it's up to you. I mean, I think we did last week, but we've
done the past 2 weeks. Yeah.
The previews?
No, the recaps.
I think there's a preview bit up there for a couple minutes, but that's up to you. I mean, you could. I'll listen. I'm a listener, dude. I'm a good listener. If you want to
see, I always like the recap because you have a conversation back with me. If we preview, I feel like I'm just gonna be talking to you. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I got nothing on the Rams. Yeah. I've only watched the Bills on what's it called, Red Zone a little bit, and a little bit of that first half.
See, for me, like I've watched the Bills. Obviously, I watch them every week, but I haven't watched the Rams enough to know how they're gonna attack. Okay. I mean, I'll just be over here blowing smoke, man.
Okay, then. So I don't feel bad then.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I don't want. I mean, come on, Steelers are my team, dude. I'm not trying to be fluffing up the here.
No.
The
but
whole time.
What I'm trying to do is this, man. Expand you. Imagine if ESPN was just Steelers. It's not the same, right? But when it's ESPN, it's like, oh, you're gonna get everything you need. NFL Network.
They should start talking about the Steelers a little bit more.
But you see, you're missing it.
All right.
We build us up to that level now. We control that. Follow.
I get that, but Coward's a little bit off on his top 10 rankings. He doesn't even have us in the top 10.
Coward? Who cares?
I don't, because
you bring him up a lot though. For you not to care about him, you bring him up a lot. You do. You're quick to bring. I'm like, bro, I don't even tune into Colin.
No, I like him. He's good at his job.
I only listen to Colin because Joy's from Pittsburgh. That's about it.
No, he's really good at his job, dude.
Shout out to the 412. Other than that, I don't care about that man.
No, Coward's good. He's entertaining and all that stuff. So he doesn't give a shit about what I have to say right here. But Steelers outside of the top 10, that's really disrespectful. And this goes back to what I was saying with the Ravens. He's got the Ravens at number 1. He was talking about them going 16-0 before the season. It's just absurd. The eye test from last week's game against the Texans is not saying that. That's all I need to throw. Or
maybe it's saying the Texans are better than what people think. Maybe it's saying the Texans are better than what people think.
I don't, because like I said, just everything about that squad was just kind of lackluster to me. It was just, I don't think the Ravens really were there where, they're God status. They're just going to blow the league away. Nah, we got their number.
All right. Whoa.
When's that matchup? Because
Jeez, we just skipping all these other ones, huh? All right. Lord,
I'm ready for that matchup because I'm just ready because I just saw the Ravens
we
game
can't
here.
take care of this before we get to that?
Huh? We're taking care of this.
You sure? It sounds like we just skipped
Like I
over
said,
it,
dude,
man.
I'm talking too much. I
got you. We're going to wrap it up. We good.
I am.
So tune into the interview, man. Matt Feiler, man. We're excited about it, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Can't wait to watch this game, man, come Sunday. So thanks again for watching.
Until next time.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely excited about this next guest, former teammate of mine, a guy that we saw come from practice squad to now being the starter, for going on 2 years now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Out of Bloomsburg University, you love to see it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, your starting left guard of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Matt Feiler. Matt, what's good, baby? How are you?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Just enjoying seeing how your career's progressed thus far, man. Just big fan of you, man. Loving what you're doing, man. Just being able to show your versatility alongst that offensive line, man. So, just keep doing what you're doing, baby.
I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And, speaking of what you've been able to do so far along this offensive line, man, this year you made the transition from starting at right tackle last year and the year prior to that to starting full-time at left guard. So just talk about, man, how that transition has been for you thus far.
It's been a little weird going from the right side on the edge to the left side on the interior, but I've played there before in the preseasons and in the past. So, once I got a couple snaps under my belt, it started coming back to me and things started coming a little bit easier.
I like it. Now, do you have a preference between, right tackle or left guard or anything?
Not really. I mean, I liked right tackle when I was playing there, and now I like left guard. Now I'm playing there.
I could dig it.
Yeah, I don't really have a preference.
I like it, man. When you're versatile like you, it don't matter. Line it up, man. You getting it shut down.
Right.
Now, Matt, was there a time through your NFL career up to this point where you thought, "Wow, I kind of made it," through all this? Was there something that I don't know? Was there an off-season moment, a practice, maybe an NFL game where you're like, "Yo, I'm a starter in the NFL and I belong and I'm a pretty damn good one"?
I don't really. I don't know. I don't really have that kind of mindset. I got to go out there every day, every snap, and try to prove myself to myself as well to my teammates and the organization.
I like that. Humble, man. You can't go wrong with that at all. Me and Moats always talk about that on the podcast. We like people that are humble and they just go out there and do their work. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Now, speaking of a little bit of that humility, man, we know that, your start to the NFL career, man, was very humbling in terms of going from practice squad with the Houston Texans to coming over here to Pittsburgh and being on the practice squad as well. So just talk about, man, how difficult of a process that was for you, dealing with being on the practice squad, changing organizations and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, my first year in Houston, like you said, I was put on the practice squad, and that was cool. That was a good learning experience. Got me time to kind of hone on things I needed to work on and kind of get used to the speed and the size of everybody in the NFL. But then I got cut from there, and I kind of thought maybe my career might have been over. And then a couple days later, I got a call from the Steelers, and they wanted to bring me in and not suit me out, but put me on the practice squad, and I just saw it as another opportunity of something I needed to keep on improving with and prove that I can play.
I like that, man.
Do you remember what that conversation was like with the Steelers? I don't know if it was Tomlin or who it was within the organization, what they said whenever they brought you onto the practice squad initially. Like, what was their vision for you? What was their plan? Where did they see you at within the Steelers organization, maybe in 2 or 3 years? What was their kind of whole plan for you?
They didn't really. I mean, they said they wanted to bring me in and have me suit up, or not suit up, but help them out. I think we were playing the Patriots in Week 1, so they just asked if I was ready to help them beat the Patriots, and of course I was willing and wanting to help them wherever they needed me to be.
I like that, and I will say this too, man. Seeing you early on like that, man, you did move around as well, man, and that was one of the things that we valued. I think about, you, Chris Hubbard's another guy, man, guys that really cut their teeth on practice squad under Munchak, and then seeing, how those hard times really helped you in terms of where you are now, man. I always admired that about you guys.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just not only me, but seeing, like you said, Hubbard and and even Al, like guys that just come up from the practice squad and make a name for themselves.
Absolutely. What they call it was Munch's Millionaires. I think that was the
I like that.
Now was there ever a time, I know you came from D2 school, Bloomsburg. Now I have a kind of a little story with one of my friends who used to play with the Steelers back in the 80s, who he came out of UConn and he ended up going undrafted as well. But his college coach at the time said, hey, listen, don't even go out for the NFL. Just give up. I don't want you to get hurt or anything. But he, like I said, went undrafted and had a 5-year career with the Steelers. Now, was there any time or any people throughout your life that told you, like, hey, man, it might just be better for you to give up on this dream? And I guess what was your mindset? Did you have any doubts at any point throughout this?
That was always in the back of my mind was like, I'm coming out of a small school. Nobody's really ever heard of Bloomsburg. So, I mean, like, what are my chances? But I've been really blessed and fortunate to have a very strong supporting cast with my family members and my wife and even my coaches at Bloomsburg. They were very supportive. And, my O-line coach, I guess it was after my junior year, was like, hey, scouts are starting to ask about you. So just keep working hard and doing what you're doing. And hopefully good things come from it.
And shoot, they definitely have thus far, man.
Good,
you gotta keep that thing rolling, baby. Keep it rolling.
That's good. A little bit of support.
Hey, so talk to me a little bit about, man, having Seven back, man. Big been back this year under center. Man, what has that been like for you? What has it been like for the offense as a whole?
I think it's definitely something that, we see his drive and motivation, and it definitely wants us to, put forth our best effort and, just do everything right, even the little things. And just we all wanted to come together and play our best football.
I like it, man. And shoot, so far so good, man. Sitting at 2-0, and yeah, we love what we're seeing from you guys, man. So definitely keep that thing rolling. Now, this year, if I'm correct, now this is a contract year for you, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about, man, just how you've been handling that whole process. Just the thought of this could be your last season here in Pittsburgh, contracts and stuff like that, man. What's been your whole thought process through this whole situation?
I haven't really been paying attention much to that. I just got to go out there every week and play my hardest, and whatever happens at the end of the season happens. Hopefully, I stay in Pittsburgh, but yeah, I wasn't trying to focus on any of that, and like I said, just put forth my best effort.
I like it. It's a good mindset, man. Focus on the things you can control, baby.
Now,
Exactly.
Matt, I've heard you're self-proclaimed just quiet dude. We've heard through this interview you're humble, work hard, but I noticed you got the 2 sleeves of tattoos. So do you have a wild side to you here? I noticed on the one arm you have like an octopus. Is it a kraken? Also have like a compass / like navigation marker.
There we go.
What's the inspiration there?
So the Kraken that you're talking about, I like being at the beach and everything. Like my grandma has a house in Wildwood, New Jersey. So I've always kind of grown up around the beach and being at the beach. So it was kind of just paying homage to that. And then also my grandfather, who kind of kept me into sports, and I grew up with him. He taught me everything I know pretty much. Me and him just he loved the beach too. So I mean, it was kind of like a piece for him. And there's actually like a hidden meeting in the skull that I have on my forearm. It has a missing tooth. And growing up, whenever we had a loose tooth, he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, let me see your tooth real quick," and he'd pull it out before we even knew it was happening. So it's just a little shout out to him.
I like that.
That's dope.
Now, before we let you go, man, we got to ask this week. So we ask everybody that comes on to talk about their welcome to the NFL moment. That moment where you're like, oh, yeah, I'm here. Whether it was good or bad, we just want you to hear, share your story about that.
All right. Well, so first, welcome to the NFL moment. I was it was probably the first or second day of camp, full pads. And one of my first snaps, I was lining up against J.J. Watt, and he just completely just dogged me. It was not a good look. Did not feel good. But it was probably That's probably my welcome to the NFL moment right there.
I like it, man. Hey, and if that's the guy that welcomes you to the NFL, you got it good because he's done that to a lot of people, man. So hey, it's all love, baby. But Matt, man, we definitely appreciate you, man. We had a blast, having you hop on the podcast with us. The listeners enjoyed it, and yeah, man, just wish you nothing but the best the rest of this season, man. Stay healthy and keep being great, man.
Awesome, thank you.
No doubt,
man. Thanks.
All right, peace.